Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we are happy to welcome you back to the Squared Circle Maniacs YouTube channel and for the Squared Circle Maniacs Pro Wrestling Podcast. My name is Johnny Bottles, and to my right is Dr. Don Wayne, the neckbeard psychologist from Twitter. And we've got a lot to talk about today, believe it or not. We've got to talk about night 2 of WrestleMania. We got to talk about that wonderful Raw from last night. And we've got to talk about what actually goes on in the mind of a man from Jacksonville, Florida. A drug-addled young man who thinks that this is the correct course of action for his pro wrestling company. A lot to talk about. What do you want to start with first, Don?
We'll get to the man-child soon enough. He can't help himself anymore, and it's getting worse. Welcome to my backyard. As you can see, it is the color of snow in the winter after you've had a leak. It is raining, all kinds of pollen. Sorry if I sound a little bit congested, a little nasally. Shit's real here. But I did want to talk about WrestleMania Night 2 because we came down here as soon as WrestleMania Night 1 was over with because both of us had something to say about that shit show. Yes. To say it was average would be considerable being nice, I would think. Being nice to say it was average. The Usos damn near killed the whole show for me. Then you had the main event, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Night 2. And Night 2 kicked off with a bang. Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre put on one of the best matches I've seen either of them have in a really long time. I was captivated for the entire length of this match. Little bit too many finishers, little too much of that lately in wrestling. Like, I'll give you one kick out of a finisher, but it's getting to where everybody's kicking out of 15 of them. Like, let's not turn into AEW here with this shit.
Right. They do spam the finishers a lot. But
yeah,
this was great. This was executed well.
It's like I'm playing on my PlayStation. I got unlimited finishers. I'm going to just keep kicking them. Here we go. Bam. Bam. And the neckbeards are like, yeah, this is great. And I was like, let's take it home, boys. Couple two.
Well, that's a great correlation that you just brought up there because there is a video game playing mentality, the gamer mentality in watching wrestling now, where they want to see matches like what they do on their game systems, playing a game, spam a finisher, just keep going back to it over and over again until you beat the guy. Do all the high spots you can. How do I make this guy jump off the top and do a 450?
A ukulele 330. That's what I call
a ukulele 330. Yes.
Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. We're getting lots of views, but hit that subscribe button, folks. It's not going to cost you a thing. We don't charge you a bond. We'd appreciate it. If you want to get
trying to hit the 600 number.
If you want to get the super chats, feel free to do that. The biggest part of this Drew McIntyre was I think we both saw it coming. It had to be because Seth is a workhorse. He's looking a little run down. He needs some time off. And rumor has it he's going to be out at least a month, maybe no more, to heal up on some of his injuries. The best part was Drew celebrating with his family and then coming over to CM Punk and just throwing it in his face. Like, look what I did, you injured bum. You can't do this. Look at you. Right. Look at you, you injured old man. And then as soon as he turned his back, don't turn your back on CM Punk. Sweep the leg, Johnny. We had a Karate Kid moment. It was great. It was absolutely great.
Epic. Fantastic.
He rips off the tricep brace. Bam. And the music hits. And here comes out Damian Priest right on time. There were two guys that said this was going to happen, and I can't. Oh, it was you and me. We said that was going to happen. In this match, we said it was going to happen.
Absolutely. We thought they were going to. I thought they were going to cash in maybe on Rollins. Then you had me thinking McIntyre.
Had to be McIntyre. Had to be. Just because his story is so good at this point in time, it's got to be Drew being a 5-minute champion. He's got to, like I said last week, he's got a bitch now, so he's got to be fighting a face. I did not think it was going to be CM Punk. I can't say I thought he was going to be healthy in time. That one caught me off guard. I was more than happy to see this. Drew rolls him in the ring. The best part was when he hit him with the briefcase That bitch
He's
went
just making a
20
lap.
feet.
He's making a lap around the ring. Going boom! Hits him in the back of the head with the briefcase, and he hands the briefcase to the ref.
No, it went 20 feet in the air. If you remember, he had to go chase it back down. Yeah.
Oh shit! Oh okay.
That thing went flying in the air. Drew was like, "Oh shit! Let me get that. Please don't hit a fan." It landed right next to the steps. Cash it in. 1, 2, 3. Crowd goes banana. Way to start night 2. There was more energy in this match. I can guarantee you something was said to the wrestlers after night 1. Like, pick up the pace. Stop dragging out the story. We tell you to slow it down all the time. That night they said, pick the shit up. Sorry, I got to keep
It was a I thought the match was going to be over right away. From the way he was coming at Rollins. I thought that was going to be it. I said, don't tell me this match is done. A minute into it. Don't tell me. Then I'm thinking, okay, Priest is definitely coming out. But they went on, and they went on. Yeah. They sucked me in. They hooked me and reeled me in. And it was fantastic the way they did it. Professionals.
No doubt about that. I gave this match, I loved it. I gave it 2 thumbs up. Loved it. Loved everything about it.
Are we doing stars? Let's do stars.
I'll give it 5 stars. I don't give a shit. I was into it. Whole thing I was into. I don't give a shit how many
5 stars.
Kalamazoo flips they did. It was entertaining as hell. Crowd went crazy. You had a surprise ending. Everything you wanted a match. Then we had Io Sky and Bayley.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have high hopes. I really didn't. But I was pleasantly surprised with this match. It didn't bore me. I was entertained. They kept the pace up. It didn't slow down. Io Sky, even though she's the size of a Twinkie, she can work. She can do moves. Bayley won. I don't really have a lot to say about it. 3 stars, maybe. I don't know what you thought.
3 stars for me. The right outcome. The right person won. The Women's SmackDown Championship was stale, mainly because the holder cannot cut a promo.
And that's the problem in America.
It's a big problem, huge problem in America. She can't cut a promo. I noticed what they've been doing with her lately. They're doing this Shinsuke Nakamura treatment, where there's subtitles in her promos, and she does them in Japanese. All 3 of those girls should just do it that way. All 3 of them should do it that way.
Well, if you're going to make a heel stable, that's one way to do it.
Right. Subtitles. But Io Sky can work her ass off. And Bayley, what can you say about Bayley? Great technician in the ring. Good psychology. The crowd loves her. I'm interested to see who the next challenger is. Probably Dakota Kai, if I had to wager. Or Asuka. One of those 2.
You think the stable turns on her? Oh, no, you think, okay, I got you. Say sorry. I keep thinking she's in the stable. She's not now. So, my bad. Just, hey, it was what it was. Like, it was an entertaining match. I didn't want to turn the channel. I didn't want to look at my phone. I was like, all right, this is going somewhere. Usually when you get a 2-star match in my rating scale, that's when I start looking at my flow and figuring shit out in life. Like, what's happening on Twitter? Why does my Braves pitching rotation suck ass? What the hell happened over here in the Middle East? What is that? That's where I go.
Exactly.
My mind just wanders. It walks.
Do I want to order a pizza? Do I want to do this?
Exactly.
What's the one later on YouTube?
Next up was LA Knight and AJ Styles. Another match. Look, when you get to night 2 and everybody doesn't have a championship to defend, it's hard to keep you intrigued on these.
I did not have high hopes for this.
I didn't either. And I loved it. Everything about it, I loved. The right guy won. AJ Styles put some clean shit over. I thought the guys had a professional wrestling match. It wasn't too much. It was the right pace. It had some fun spots for the fans. I loved it, man. I'd
give it 3 stars. I'd give it 3 stars.
4. I'd give it 4. I loved it. I thought it was so fun. There was nothing about the match that embarrassed me as a fan. No. It looked like 2 guys having a professional wrestling match.
Let me ask you this question. Where does AJ Styles go from here?
You know, I think it's at look, he's getting a little bit later in his years in the ring, right? He's not a young man anymore.
And he's talking about he's coming to the end. That's what he's talking about.
He's got to see that it's coming to the end, right? So he's been injured routinely like 2 out of the last 3 or 4 years, right? It's always a tricep injury or a nagging knee injury.
Or an ankle.
Or an ankle, or it could be anything. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this is his last big run in this company. I said that about Rey Mysterio 10 years ago, and look where he is now. It's insane that he's still doing what he's doing. AJ Styles should be the guy that they bring back every 3 or 4 months and have a major bout with and have a major feud with. Come in here and just screw a guy over. I could get behind that. I don't know where he goes from here. I don't know that you put him in a major angle again right away. This one was okay. The buildup was great. There's no denying that the buildup was great. When he was sitting on the chair talking trash to LA Knight, that was good stuff. When LA Knight was disguised as a cameraman, that was good stuff. It felt like an old school feud to me.
What about LA Knight? Where does he go from here?
I think you've got to put LA Knight in that U.S. title mix now. I talked about that. I said that's the perfect title for that. That's where he should be heading to next, is a run with Logan Paul. That's where he's got to go next. That's the guy, right? Like, we've seen it now. LA Knight he's really over with the fans, but he's not quite on that world title stage just yet, in my opinion. He fits very nicely in that U.S. top of that middle tier, just not quite there yet. Good question, though, Johnny. God, that was a good question. We then got Logan Paul, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens. And this.
Well, now you know why. Now you know why Logan Paul retained.
Yeah,
They're
absolutely.
Going to save that belt probably for a guy like LA Knight. Because if they were going to give it to Orton, they would have had the title change right then and there.
Yes, I agree.
Kevin Owens, as far as I'm concerned, Kevin Owens needs to come off TV for a while.
He didn't bother me so much in this match. He didn't really bother me. What I enjoyed about this match, look, the first part of the match entertained the shit out of me. Right. They came, like Logan Paul comes out in that monster truck. Thing looked incredible. I love big trucks. That's my thing. I love to look at them. I think it was a beautiful truck. Then out comes Kevin Owens in a golf cart, drives halfway to the ring, stops and goes, I guess I'll go back and get Randy Orton. What the hell am I doing? Goes back and gets him. Did you see when he took off? Randy's like, hey, man, slow the hell down.
Yes.
It was phenomenal. I enjoyed this match. Three ways usually do me in on matches, right? They kill me. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
This one didn't do it because they were both beating the shit out of Logan Paul. That was their focus. Let's beat this guy's ass. And I told my wife, I said, watch, they're going to go for a pin at the same time. And it's going to start a shit show. As soon as that happens, I was like, there it is. They're going for the shit show.
And Owens looked at Orton and goes, really? We're going to do this? Really?
Yes.
And then he started throwing hands.
I thought it was great. I absolutely thought it was great. I've got nothing to say but positive vibes about this match. I enjoyed every part of this match.
Yes.
Was there any?
I'd give this a 4.
I'd give it 4, 4.5, maybe 4. I was sports entertained, as you say.
Absolutely. So was I. Who we got next?
Well, I wouldn't change anything about this. The next one was the one you and I were both worried to death about. The 6-man. The Pride versus the Final Testament. We were both scared to death this was going to suck, but we got 2 very special treats in this match.
Scarlett.
Oh, look, pal, she's a given. Bubba Ray Dudley was the guest referee, and Snoop Dogg came down with the gold belt to guest commentate and had my ass in stitches with everything he said. He was killing it with the comedy. Because, look, you can't take this but so seriously when they're throwing trash cans at each other, man. You can't take it but so far. And he gets that as a fan.
I was surprised by Bubba Ray Dudley. I was very surprised by that.
That shocked everybody. I was actually surprised at Snoop Dogg.
He was there last year. He was there a year before, I believe.
But they were in L.A. last year. Like, that's his hometown.
He is the cousin of Mercedes Moné. So you figure they would have tried to get him on one of their pay-per-views or one of their deals.
Right.
Apparently, she does not have that much pull with Snoop Dogg, with her cousin, to get him to come into AEW. I think he would say, what's AEW?
What is that, cuz?
Yeah, what is that, cuz?
His belt's great, by the way. I love his
It does look good. It does look good. I think the street fight rules, it was just a lot of chaos. You saw Scarlett get in a mix with B-Fab, and a lot of A lot of kendo sticks flying around. They broke one, whipping the hell out of one of the Street Profits. I mean, they held it up, the handle.
Yeah,
and you've never seen that happen.
I did.
And
I just when one of the Street Profits dove over the damn ring and almost went out of the entire area, I about came out of my seat. I was like, "Oh shit, man, calm that down. You can't be jumping into the fans like it's 1998 ECW. Somebody's gonna catch a lawsuit here, player."
6 guys who had something to prove, and they proved it.
They had a great match, and Snoop
it was a good match.
Hilarious. When he hit him with the trash can, he said something like, "That's trashy," or something along those lines. I don't know why that made me laugh. I'm not
what
big
you think
on
about
gimmick
Paul
matches.
Ellering? Paul Ellering, what does he bring to the table in all this?
Diabetes.
Nothing. Diabetes.
I bring diabetes.
He brings dust to the table. He's got. It's just.
It doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit.
Does not fit. They need to split that. They got to come apart. It should be.
I don't mind them saying
the Authors of Pain as the Final Testament with Paul Ellering. Just call them the Final Testament and have Karrion Kross and Scarlett do their own thing.
I enjoyed it. 4 stars. I'm going to say it now.
If Kross isn't working on the main roster, the next thing is a face turn. That's all you can do with him now. If you can't get over as a face, see ya.
I enjoyed it.
I would give it 3
stars.
I'd give it 3. 4, I'd give it 3.
I'm giving it 4 because I don't like these matches, but it kept going. The only part that sort of took me out of it was when they got on the table and it broke. Like they cut the table too fine. It's not going to hold a 250-pound man if you cut it that deep. But to make up for it, he got another kendo stick and whipped the shit out of him while they got another table. And I said, well, if it happens, and you've got to keep selling. And when he sort of weared his ass out, so there you go. That's how you sell it.
When this match was on, I'm watching it, and then, okay, what's in the fridge? What can I make for dinner? What's going on here? What's going on there? And the snack. Do I need another beer? Nah, maybe. It was just, I was distracted. The phone was in my hand. What are they saying on Twitter about this?
Angry.
That kind of crap.
Just angry. Look, as much as I dislike hardcore wrestling, you seem to dislike it a lot more. This might be what women's wrestling is to me. This might be what it is to you. It's hardcore. You're not a big fan.
I do like the hardcore wrestling, except for when they take light tubes and try to smash it across another guy's bare ass.
Kenny Omega gave that 6 stars.
The light tubes.
Yeah. You're like, that's how you do it. That's what I learned in Japan.
That's right.
Let me pull my pants out. I'll show them how to do an ass match.
Oh, I love an ass match.
If you have not seen some of the clips of Kenny Omega, you will never understand why I dislike that man so much. It's not just because he's an AEW. It's because
wrestling a 10-year-old girl, wrestling a blow-up doll. He wrestled another man in thongs, and the man climbed up on the top turnbuckle. His back was to Kenny, and Kenny was in a praying position with his hands and jammed his hands up another man's ass.
And if you're wondering
the
how
guy was
we
on
know
the top
about
turnbuckle.
this, there was a guy there was a guy that put all these clips together. And I said, I've seen all I need to see. I never need to see this guy again. The main event was next.
Yes.
The one we've all been waiting for. Roman Reigns and Cody for the Undisputed Championship. And you knew there was going to be chaos and shenanigans. You knew it was going to get wild because it was bloodline rules. And it felt like an old school wrestling match where the faces came to save the face because they were tired of getting jerked around by the bloodline. The Rock came out, perfect timing, kicking everybody's ass. Cody's in serious trouble. Threw John Cena out the ring, which John Cena with the surprise run in. That one got me. The Usos made up for the night before, and they took each other out at the end of the table. So that shit didn't happen again. Thank God. We'll just dive off the stage. Dive off the stage, and no one has to see us again. Good plan for them after night 1. And then out came The Undertaker, and the gong hit.
And the lights went out. And when the lights came back on,
he was there. Undertaker was there. We thought we were going to get a Stone Cold moment in this because of the history with him and The Rock. Maybe they know what they're doing, Bottles, and they're saving this for maybe next year. Maybe you save this for a year. You don't have this right away. You save
Maybe
it for
you're
a
saving
year.
it. You could be saving it for the SummerSlam match between Cody and The Rock. Because The Rock's got to go away for a while. We'll
That's
talk
what he
about
said.
that later.
We'll talk about
That's
that.
what he said.
But when it was all said and done, Cody Rhodes finally got his hand raised. He vanquished his rivals. Great moment. Got a moment like Bret Hart at WrestleMania 10. Everybody put him on their shoulders. 5 out of 5. Love this night. Overall, I give it 5 out of 5 stars for WrestleMania 2. Even the matches that weren't great, they didn't piss me off.
I would give it a 5. I would give it a 7 if I could. That's how much I loved it.
You loved
it. It was
this
insane.
One,
it was crazy. It was insane. It I didn't love the love fest after he won the belt.
I didn't mind
all that rigmarole.
I didn't mind it.
I said it before on this show, and I'll say it again. I'll give it till Christmas, and everyone's going to be sick of Cody Rhodes.
They will.
He's going to get that John Cena hate that John Cena got 10, 12 years ago, where he was Super Cena. He won every match, and people hated it.
Do you want to know why I think this is going to be a good thing?
Why?
I think Cody's going to be a better heel than he is a face. I can see it.
If he turns heel, it's going to be amazing. But that's not going to happen anytime soon because he sold $1 million worth of merchandise. Cody Rhodes branded merchandise. $1 million worth they sold over those 2 nights this past weekend. Did you hear what I said? 1 million. 1 million. And you got another company that wishes they could sell 1 million in a house just in attendance.
So you're telling
they're
me
selling the shit in t-shirts, Don.
They're selling the shit in Tijuana.
Yes.
I thought it was great. Loved it. Like I said, he's over right now. It doesn't matter if adults are getting tired of him already. He's going to have a run with this thing. I don't think it's going to be a long run like what we saw with Roman. It might not last past SummerSlam for all I know. It might not. A lot of times the chase is better than when you get the championship. We saw that with Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat. Right? We saw that with a lot of guys at Ric Flair. Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair, we saw that. The chase is always better than when you become the champion. That's just an old school wrestling Southern mentality. I know Cody's got that. Up north, they just now figured it out that it's better to do that. So we'll see what happens.
Well, 2 weeks from now, there's going to be a draft in the WWE.
Yes.
And I would look for, as Cody is the SmackDown Universal Champion, I would look for Gunther and Imperium to slowly move over to SmackDown, where he will be the number one contender, the number one challenger for that heavyweight title.
Well, they've got to figure. Well, he's going to have to be on SmackDown, right? Like he's going to have to be, unless they swap the championships. Like that's something to think about too. Because at the end of this year, Raw's got a new home. Raw's got a new home at the end of this year. So they got to figure that out too. So enjoyed it. Loved it. If you haven't had a chance to see it yet, I highly advise you go see it. Enjoyed the shit out of it. Laughed. Loved it. Drank some hooch. Had a good time.
Great weekend of wrestling, Don. Great weekend of wrestling.
Well, it wasn't done yet because we all get the Monday blues if you got to go to work, and Mondays suck. Unless you were watching SmackDown last night.
You mean Raw?
Raw. Sorry. Cody, first Triple H came out, and the fans were ecstatic, screaming, "Thank you, Hunter. Thank you, Hunter." And it was great because he goes, "The funny thing is, I was coming out here to thank you." And then they announced an attendance. Great.
One thing we didn't talk about from night 2 of WrestleMania, Stephanie McMahon came out.
Yes, she did.
Supposedly, she's coming back on board in the company.
I've heard something about that, but I haven't heard it officially as of yet. They asked Triple H after the whole thing was over with, "Is Stephanie back?" And he said it's good to have her home. I don't know if he meant she was back home with the kids or what the hell that meant. I didn't grasp what he was trying to say.
Right.
So he comes out, introduces Cody. Look, not going to lie, this went a little long for me. I watched it because I was intrigued, but this shit went a little long. The
45
montage, with The Rock, it went 45 minutes, but the montage was a bit long. I thought it was a bit much. The Rock came out later. They had some sort of a weird ass let's exchange belts moment, which was weird to me. What I thought would have been cool is if The Rock said, The Rock's had every championship this company had to offer. That was big. Save that one. And The Rock needs to get that one. And then you have Cody say something like, my story's not over yet, pal. There you go. That's all that was needed. They had this weird ass interaction. I know what they were doing. They were trying to draw out those first 3 quarters and keep that number. I'll be curious to see what the actual ratings are on this. I'm sure they stayed pretty solid. I wouldn't be surprised if they hit 2 million and held. I looked earlier. They weren't out yet, so you can not waste your time. The Fast Nationals didn't even come out. But it ended with a moment where The Rock put his hand in his pocket and handed Cody Rhodes something. And I have done some research on this.
What was that?
I believe I know what he gave him. Because then he told him, don't you ever break my heart again. Take a guess, Johnny. I need one guess from you. What do you think he handed him?
Don't you ever break my heart again. He did say that.
When I tell you, you're going to be like, son of a bitch, why didn't I figure that out? Give up?
I don't know. Yeah.
He gave him the brass ring.
The brass ring?
Yeah. He gave him the brass ring.
What brass ring?
Have you never heard that expression? That was the old
I
expression.
have heard that expression, yes.
You've got to take the brass ring. Sometimes you just got to reach out and take it. The Rock was officially passing the torch to him saying, here's your brass ring. You've earned this. I thought that was a cool moment. For anybody that was an old school wrestling head, it sort of hit right away like, holy shit, I think that was like the passing of the brass ring right there. I thought it was cool. I enjoyed the shit out of it. Loved the opening segment, even though it was a little long and a little dull at times. I'm not going to complain too much about it because we're not going to get moments like this very often, right? The Rock's at the end of the rope. We got to see where Cody Rhodes. And then we got to watch your guy. Your guy.
Who's that? Ilya Dragunov.
Against oh shit! I got to
Shinsuke Nakamura.
I gotta say another Japanese name. Shinsuke Nakamura. I am brutal with this shit, man. It is impossible for me to say these names. Dragunov's not a big guy, Bottles.
He's not a big guy. He's not. Then again, neither was Shawn Michaels.
Well, that's true. Well, Shawn was bigger than he is. Let's be honest here. At the end, they might have been the same size, but in the 90s, Shawn Michaels was legit well over 200.
Mm-hmm.
I was impressed with your guy, Johnny. I thought he put on a hell of a match. He's very athletic. I enjoyed the match for what it was. Having not seen him but a couple of times, I can see why you're high on this guy. I get that now.
He sells a lot in his matches. It's not going to be a quick one and done, you're in and out. He sells his ass off in every match he's in. Every match.
God damn it. Shinsuke Nakamura. I said it. Shinsuke Nakamura.
Folks,
I got it now.
The super chats are open, folks. If you got any questions, you need to see, you need to have Don pronounce obscure European and or Asian names, or to see us jump through hoops. Just go ahead and, $1, 50 cents, $1, $2, $3, even a thing.
I practice Ilya Dragunov, but Shinsuke Nakamura, that still gets my ass, dude.
You just got it. Shinsuke Nakamura.
I've been practicing my ass off. This is not easy for me, man. God knows. Lord knows.
I think it was a hell of a match. It was the match between those two was just as much of a struggle as you pronouncing Japanese wrestlers' names.
Larry, you dick. Larry gives me shit all the time, guys, because I cannot say Japanese wrestlers' names to save my life. I cannot do it. It is the worst thing for me to get those vowels jammed together to make a consonant. It's just impossible for me. I can't do it.
Here's the Raw ratings. It looks like Raw drew 2.361 million.
For the whole show or just that quarter?
For the whole show. It looks like hour 1 to hour 3. Hour 1 to hour 3 dropped almost 1 million viewers. So if they dropped almost 1 million viewers, I don't have the quarters, but I would wager they lost a 500,000 viewers each hour.
That's what I would bet too. They probably started with 2.5, 2.6. Hour 2 was down to 2.4, 2.3. And then by the time the bottom fell, I was like a 1.7.
Yeah, the first hour was 2.86. Middle hour was 2.3 and 1.92 for the third hour.
And thank you, Larry, for the $5, brother. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Larry.
Like and subscribe. Yeah. Like and subscribe.
These are reputable ratings results from pwtorch.com.
They're not from WrestlingShit.com because those are my guys.
No. Not E-Wrestling, not Q Wrestling, not No DQ.
Okay. Well, the next part of the show on Raw was pretty good. The Judgment Day came out to cut there. We have 2 world champions in our midst moment, which I thought was awesome. They got all wound up. I was excited. We were about to hear from the brand new champion. And R-Truth out of nowhere pops up like the kid in the back that just woke up with a hangover. It just came out of nowhere. He's like, I'm still here, guys. We're still together.
What are we doing, guys?
It's just, I don't give a shit because this is what I like. Some good comedy and wrestling at the right time can always be done if it's done correctly. There's no need to not have it at the right time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This was the perfect time to have R-Truth pull a R-Truth moment. I laughed like hell.
Absolutely.
He got the shit beat out of him right afterwards with The Miz. John Cena came out. He's the third guy. He got his match after he had a little bit of a wrestling moment. Got no problem with that, right? Give the fans what they want. They got to see Cena. He's a legend. I enjoyed it. What did you think?
I thought it was fantastic. Loved it. Loved every bit of it. How much longer can R-Truth go? 52 years old.
Well,
he's fantastic.
He's the best. He's
unbelievable.
The best.
Unbelievable. He does so much with so little.
He cracks my ass up every time I see him out there.
Yes.
He cracks my ass up. I love the guy. I just, maybe it's just me, but he when he does his comedy bit, it doesn't feel stale or stupid or out of place. It's legitimately funny stuff, like legitimately funny time. So,
and he got a chance to have a match, share the ring with his childhood hero, John Cena, which is very impressive.
I don't know that will ever get old. I don't know that will ever get old. Him copying John Cena because he's his childhood hero.
Childhood hero.
And
the man you can't see. Everybody thought it was going to be Little Jimmy. That's what he thought the third man of the team was going to be, Little Jimmy. The fella you can't see. And little did he realize, John Cena, you can't see me. I
enjoyed it. Next up was Roxanne Perez and Indy Hartwell, and I'm not going down this. You can cover this. Go ahead. Give me what you thought, because wasn't overly impressed.
Perez is a great wrestler, female wrestler. So's Indy Hartwell. She deserves better than this. Candice LeRae, go home, change that kid's diaper. Just stay in the house. Just stay home. It's over. Work backstage. I guess it got to have something to do with her. They made her a heel. And Indy's a face, and she's trying to corrupt Indy. And it's just, come on, just move those two away from one another. Indy Hartwell used to be the female NXT women's champ. Then she broke her ankle. And they had a tournament, and Roxanne Perez got the belt. And they could have billboarded this match last night as wrestling someone who took her championship away. So, I don't know.
Instead, they dubbed this match Time for Donnie to get a drink and change the channel and see what his brains are doing. That's what they did.
Yes. It was time for me to go microwave a Hot Pocket. That's what I spent time doing.
You know your ass
microwaving
pizza rolls cooking.
No pizza rolls, Hot Pockets, pal. I got them at BJ's.
I bet you did. Next up was Sami Zayn and Chad Gable and Imperium, right? And I'm not trying to go down every match, but the result, Zayn and Gable won. The big thing to me about this was you're now starting to see the breaks in the promo they had after the match. The Gable Sammy sort of dynamic has got its first cracks in the ship. Did you notice that?
When Sammy said he was going to give Gable the shot at the title next week.
No, he said, I gave you that match. I had them beat. I tagged you in. And Gable's like, I beat them. Like, you're taking my spotlight. I beat those guys. So it's a little bit of a, we'll see where it goes. You know what I mean?
Well, I saw when Sammy walked away, Gable had a little bitter look on his face.
Yeah, there was
like the heel turn is coming.
There's a promo backstage. I have to send it to you. You might not have seen it. It might have been when that Hot Pocket was finishing up. That's what he said. He's like, I had them beat. You didn't give me anything. I take what I need, essentially. We then had Jade Cargill and Chelsea Green. This was a squash match. This is what they should be doing. Anybody rating this match on a star system, shut the hell up. It doesn't matter. This is how you let everybody know she's here. She doesn't need to have a 20-minute barn burner. She doesn't need to be Osprey every night. She looks like $1 million damn dollars. Why would you risk hurting that in the ring for some horse shit? Horse shit and hand grenades, save them for special occasions. This won't it. And then we had the shot at the number one contender, the Fatal 4-Way. Tell me what you thought of the match and Jey Uso winning it, number one.
I didn't think anything about Jey Uso winning that. I think it's the wrong guy. Jey Uso never should have won the match. I would have had someone else in the match more worthy of it than Jey Uso. He's not main event Jey Uso in my eyes. He should go back to tag team wrestling after that shit fest on night one of WrestleMania. But the shenanigans that went on at the end of the match was fantastic. CM Punk coming out from underneath the ring.
Up out of nowhere to cost McIntyre a shot again. It's just, this angle is just great right now, what they're doing with these two guys. It's perfect. Everybody thought, you and I included, thought Punk would be out probably until SummerSlam. I'm getting the feeling he might be around for this Money in the Bank contest if he's not in it. Maybe you see Punk cost McIntyre a shot again at the Money in the Bank.
They're driving so much interest in the match between these two. When it finally does happen, it's going to be the main event of a PLE.
It's got to be like I don't know if it'll be the main event, but it's got to be in one of the main event slots. Like it's got to be SummerSlam worthy to me. Like that's just how I feel. I don't know how far Damian Priest is going to go with that title. What was funny was Drew McIntyre called him an interim champion. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of feel like he might be. Like it kind of feels like that might be where we're going.
He also called him Bondage Undertaker.
The man was on fire. So
he was.
That was Raw. Loved the show. Thought it was great.
How good is McIntyre on the microphone now? How did all of this happen?
Because they finally took the leash off the guy and said, go be you. Go be you like you are backstage with me and go get angry. When he started throwing shit around the ring, did you see that? Because the guy's music hit and cut off his promo. He's outside throwing chairs at the damn announce tables. It was great. It was perfect. They're booking him in the right way. I freaking loved it. Thought it was great. That was our WWE recap. 40 minutes of that, and it was well worth it. Great TV, great entertainment.
As opposed to what happens on a Wednesday night.
Oh, we got to talk about tomorrow night because this is making all the headlines in AEW for all the wrong reasons. CM Punk had his interview last week, which we talked about heavily on this show. Check out the archives, folks, if you didn't see it. Like and subscribe.
Who do you have that interview with? I'm going to make you say his name. Say it. Jesus Christ. It was on the MMA Hour on YouTube.
Armani, the suit guy. Ilwar Armani. How do you say his name?
Ariel Helwani.
Okay. Ariel Helwani. Look, dude. I'm sorry.
Ilya Armani? What? You're like say it to yourself. What? No.
I will
Ariel
remember it now
Hawaii.
forever. Ariel. I'll just call him Ariel.
Like the Little Mermaid.
No,
Ariel.
like System of a Down. Ariels.
There you go.
I'm going to remember
That's
it from
it.
now on. Why are you effing with me, dude? You know I have problems with these names.
I think it's hilarious. You are non-pronouncing son of a bitch. Go ahead.
I am the worst. Lord. Block Larry gave $5. I'm going to throw it up there. See, he gets a kick out of this shit too, man.
It's just amazing. I love it. I love it.
All right. Anyway, on to Tony Khan's crazy ass, because CM Punk cut a promo on a show that's not on WWE. CM Punk must have hit a nerve with what he said, because TK is now saying, I'm going to finally, well, he had the Bucks say, I'm going to release the footage from England when CM Punk had me afraid for my life. And he's going to do it on his TV show. He's not going to do it on a podcast. He's not going to do it on YouTube. He's going to take time out of his show, which is hurting in ratings, to show a wrestler that's no longer there beat the shit out of another wrestler that's still with his company. This is the question that I've been asking all week, and I'm going to ask it to you. How does this help the AEW product other than popping a cheap number for whatever segment it might be in?
How are they really going to pop a cheap number? Let's take this piece by piece. How can they pop a cheap number when they try to pop a cheap number with Mercedes Moné with that rigmarole, not advertising her and trying to get her in and all that? It didn't do anything. They did nothing. They had less ratings. The ratings were lower than what they usually had the week before. And they haven't recovered from this. They haven't cracked 800,000. Have they?
No.
Since Mercedes Moné debuted?
Her debut got 800,000. That was it.
No. Remember, they had to lower it.
Did they? Okay. I thought it was 801 for some reason.
Nope, it was, but there was an error.
Okay.
It was even lower. It was like 792.
Yeah, it might have been something like that. Either way,
we reported on that.
Yeah, we did. I'm just trying to understand, for the life of me, where this is going to help your company draw more eyes on your product when all you're doing is acting like a scorned lover.
Why not put it on Twitter? Why not put it on YouTube if it means that much to you? Why not go on a podcast? Go on Busted Open. They won't have you back because you won't answer any questions. Everything's great. It's the greatest of all time. This Rampage coming up this Friday is the greatest of all time. Well, what are your feelings? Have you had any contact with Jack Perry? He claims that you ghosted him. I don't know about that Jack Perry, but I will tell you, Collision's got a great card on Saturday night. That's the kind of interviews he does when he's out there. He won't talk about anything controversial. Now all of a sudden he wants to get controversial. He wants to go ahead and have this footage show on Dynamite and have the young mucks, I almost said.
I think you're onto something there.
The Mungyucks. I was going to call them the Mungyucks, like Motorhead does. The Young Bucks are going to go and narrate this and do a play-by-play like they're wrestling announcers. This is all bullshit. He did an interview with Sports Illustrated this week.
He being who, pal? Pronouns.
Tony Khan, pal.
Tony Khan did an interview with Sports Illustrated. What did he have to say about this?
AEW has a great track record on delivering what we advertise, and it's real footage. The Young Bucks will show backstage footage from All In, the most important event in AEW history, the world record holder for the most tickets ever sold for any wrestling record. 81,035 total, and it was an important night backstage as well. But just totally ignore what happened over this past weekend in terms of wrestling tickets sold. Although the incident unfolded 8 months ago, it's suddenly relevant again after Punk shared his side of the story last week on Ilya Armani's MMA Hour. Despite speculation that Khan would air the footage as the result of a grudge against Punk, he noted his motivation is storyline driven. Tony says the decision is based on putting on the best show for AEW, as well as driving interest for Dynamite and our Dynasty pay-per-view April 21st. This is real-life footage that affected many people, and it will air for the first time on TBS during Dynamite. And I will say, this is all he said about it after that. That's it. And I will say to you, Don Wayne, this is a vehicle to bring back Jack Perry on the AEW television.
You've mentioned you don't think he's actually going to show the footage.
I think it's actually going to be a skit.
That's think it's going? Look, if it's a skit, oh boy. All right, so here's the scenarios that I've got in my head, right? Let's go with your scenario. Scenario 1, it's a skit. This will not piss the fans off to make the Young Bucks look like heels, like, boo these guys. It will have, get the hell off my TV heat. Yeah, but it's the wrong kind of heat. It's freaking Jeff Jarrett in the 1990s in WWE heat. Get the F off my TV. I don't want to see you anymore. I don't see your freaking guitar gimmicks. Lose to China and get the hell off my TV. You suck and I'm done with it. That's the kind of heat that's going to get if this is what they go with.
If they were playing a film clip, and there were heels involved in the film clip, then this is how the heels get heat. This is how the heels get over. Look what they did. Oh, these sons of bitches. But this is a guy who's revered in the wrestling business. CM Punk. So and everyone hates Jack Perry. And everyone hates the Young Bucks. No. Even people who watch AEW, you can't tell me they enjoy the Young Bucks. You can't tell me that.
Let's go with scenario 2, which is what I think happens.
Hang on a second. Before you say that, I just want to tell you what Meltzer said. Meltzer said it's real footage. That's what he claims. I know. Dave Meltzer's wrong about everything.
Oh, lately he's wrong about the time of day. I mean, that guy can't get shit right now. You can have a clock 3 inches from him. He'll tell you it's whatever the tell time it was yesterday. The eclipse happened today, according to Dave Meltzer. He was outside with goggles on, looking for the shit, confused as hell. Dogs pissing in the pool. He doesn't know what's going on in life, pal. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry to report I think I've killed Johnny Bottles. You all right?
Yeah, I just got a lung full of Diet Pepsi, pal. That's okay. Dog's pissing in the pool, pal.
This is scenario 1 that I
spot. Jesus.
This is scenario 1 that I think actually happens. They show the footage. It's really shitty video. It shows Punk getting Perry in some sort of a front face lock. Nobody's moving. Punk's just sort of wiggling around with him. Overcomes Samoa Joe to get him to leave him alone. He pulls him off and Perry falls back. That's what I think you're going to see, which is what everybody thinks happened. I don't think anybody thinks that didn't happen. It was a front face lock. Shit got weird, and he probably yells at Tony Khan and storms off stage because he's had enough of the shit.
From Fightful has reported that a wrestler backstage in AEW, one of many who were friends with CM Punk, the guy's initials are BK. That's all they said, BK. And I can tell you who that is in a minute. BK is he's so upset that he was throwing things around the locker room when he heard about it. That's what they're going to do this past weekend.
That's
losing his mind. And BK is Brody King, the big tattooed tub of goo who's in the House of Black. Those 3 guys are all good friends with CM Punk. All 3 of them.
I wouldn't go bragging about that if I was CM Punk. That guy's a piece of shit. But that's neither
Brody
here nor
King,
there.
yes, he is.
Yeah. That's neither here nor there. Scenario 3 in my mind that plays out.
Go ahead. What do you got?
He puts him in an awkward chokehold. It gets broken up in about 5 seconds. He screams at Tony Khan, throws a monitor down, and then walks off. And Tony Khan's like, oh my God.
He's a madman. He's a madman. Look what he did. He's depraved. I'm glad I wasn't taking a trick on my trick. He's depraved. That Punk is depraved.
That's scenario 3. Scenario 4, which I think is the most, unlikely.
How can you be that soft? How can you be that soft?
Dude, I don't know. I'm telling you, he's the kind of kid that never got into a fight when he was a kid. He's never had a physical altercation in his life.
He reminds me of Joe Besser, the guy who took Curly's place in the Three Stooges.
Oh, here we go with that.
Not so hard. When he get hit, he goes, not so hard. I'm warning you, not so hard. That guy.
Scenario 4 is that everything we've heard is a lie. They never really get into a fight. It's a skirmish. He gets them in a quick headlock, and it's all broken up, and it's all done. And that's the worst thing that can happen. Like, if this is a bunch about nothing, there's no way this helps AEW unless CM Punk and everybody else that has reported on this has just been blatantly lying. And he just starts trying to rage on Tony Khan. That's the only way this works in their favor. You can't tell me one of your wrestlers getting his ass kicked and you re-airing it helps you in any way. That would be like, okay, he's a pillar of the company, right? He's a pillar of the company. Let's go with, say, the 90s, mid-90s WWE.
Okay.
That's like, I don't know, Shawn Michaels going backstage and getting choked out by Bret Hart or someone lesser, and you show it the next day after you just fired his ass. That's what I see this as. You still have one of these guys in your rankings, but you're gonna show him getting his ass kicked.
Now, what are the odds on this, though? What are the odds on what CM Punk said happened as a very, very skewed point of view? What if he got punched in the face by Jack Perry and Punk grabbed him in the front face lock, and then when they separated, some blows were thrown and Punk got the worst of it? I'm just spitballing here. What if that's a scenario, too? They're trying to make CM Punk look like a liar, is what they're trying to do.
Yes, I know. They're trying to make
crux of the whole thing.
Honestly, I think they're trying to make him look like he's a lunatic. And quite frankly, you're going to have a hard time proving to me or even watching it unless I see him get his ass kicked or look like a raving lunatic. This doesn't help your company. Why are you showing this on your television set?
And why would you bury a guy who your fan base loved? The fan base loves CM Punk. A large percentage of them, I should say.
300,000, 200,000 to 300,000. We've done the numbers. Look it up. It's in the archives. We have figured this out. 200,000 to 300,000 people routinely showed up when his segment was on to watch that guy and then dipped as soon as it was over. And guess what? The WWE, that number is even higher because he hits a higher fan base over there. It's the same thing. He popped a 2 million rating when the Rock and Cody had their moments on that show. He did 300,000 more than they did. Love him, hate him, or dislike him, he is a draw in this industry because he was gone for so long, and he might not be able to go anymore. I'm not saying he can. God knows his body's breaking down left and right like a Pinto right now.
Kids, when he wrestles McIntyre, if he gets hurt again when he wrestles McIntyre, people are going to seriously look at him and say, it's time to go. It's time
to walk. Yeah, it is. I would agree with that. But we're hoping this is just 2 triceps, got them redone. Get on that HGH, pal. Go talk to Randy Orton. Figure that shit out. But that was my take on this whole thing, man. It doesn't work for me in that scenario. None of this appears to be going the way that it should if you are an AEW fan. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
It's a guy who had his feelings hurt by what Punk said. Say that he's not a boss. He's not a leader of men. He's not a boss. He's just the money mark. Basically is what he is. That's it. And he's a madman behind the scenes because if anybody questions his decisions, he flies off the handle like a freaking lunatic. Now, I don't know if that's because he's coked up, drunk, whatever, allegedly. But like I said last week, keep it 100. Conan said those guys who work for him don't want to question what he does or go up against him because they like working 1 day a week and getting paid millions of dollars per year.
Yeah. And that's what they're doing. Well, I mean, he talked about it. These guys want to show up, do a match, cut 3 promos, and go home for the next month.
Exactly.
So that's what I want to discuss tonight. I'm looking forward to watching this tomorrow just because of this segment alone. I don't know what else is on the show. Do you know what else is on the show tomorrow, Johnny Bottles?
I do. I just pulled it up. You've got the, oh God, I'll start with the worst.
Here we go.
Hook, Chris Jericho, and Katsuyori Shibata, the guy who had his brain removed and put back.
He had his brain removed, yes, according to Dave Meltzer. He's doing well again?
They're going up against another trio, the Shane Taylor Promotions. And I'm trying to figure out who are in Shane Taylor Promotions. I think it's Lee Moriarty, obviously Shane Taylor, and some other guy. Don't know who it is. I have no idea. But why is this happening? Why is this match happening?
I don't know.
How does Shibata figure into Jericho and Hook? They had no interaction.
They saw him backstage.
I can't even think of that. Mariah May versus Anna Jay should be
by the way, if it's your first time watching the show, please like and subscribe. We need the subscriptions. We're doing a push to 600. Back in December, we were around 100. We really appreciate the support. If there's something you guys would like to see in the content of the show, please put in the comments when the show's done. We're trying to make a better show for everybody. We appreciate it. We really appreciate the support. Like and subscribe. Let me tell you something, baby. I need you to like and subscribe, baby. Reach out to the little hands. Hit that little like button and subscribe. They're right next to each other, baby.
People in the chat said we need more hate. Let's go with more hate.
I'm gassing right now. I'm gassing.
Mariah May and Anna Jay are having a match. Whoop-de-doo. After that, you've got Tony Storm. The Tony Storm Charleston Championship Champagne Toast. And somehow Thunder Rosa is going to be involved in this. She's the #1 contender for that women's title, don't you know, all of a sudden. How are those rankings doing? Anybody got the rankings? And you got, honey, bring me the rankings.
Yeah. They're doing about as well as
Mrs. Bottle said, I got your effing rankings right here. Next up, you've got the Young Bucks presenting backstage footage. That's probably going to be at the top of the 9 o'clock hour. Then you've got the formerly known as Edge, the artist formerly known as Edge.
Thank you, Larry, for the $1.
Wrestling for the TNT Championship. He's going to defend his TNT Championship against Penta El Zero Miedo.
El Zero! Penta El Zero, I can say that shit.
Great look. He's got to get his shit in every match. This and that.
I didn't say he was a great wrestler. I just said I knew who the hell he was.
Then you've got a match that everyone's wanting to see. A man is going to finish his story for the heavyweight championship of AEW. Samoa Joe takes on Dustin Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes is going to finish his story. And I hope it's a short story because it's Dustin Rhodes. You can look at this whole card and say,
it's just
this
all
guy's
built
going to
around Punk.
Winner, 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 winner. You can just pick out the winners. Just look at the graphic. You really don't even need to turn the TV on to see this bullshit. You really don't. If you're not a fan or you just like a certain people in AEW, you will look at this and say, none of my favorites are on this show, I'm out. And you would know who's going to win all these belts or who's going to win these matches.
And that's the problem. And that's the problem.
That's the problem this guy has with this programming, with this show. And when you turn on WWE now, any SmackDown, NXT, or Raw, you don't know what the hell's going to happen. Unless it's an Alpha Academy match. Then you realize they're wrong.
Do you see what you've done to Block Larry now? He gave $1 to throw this up. Larry, if I swear to God, if you put a bunch of Japanese names together, I will drive down to Louisiana and we're going to have a problem. That shit is not happening. Not happening, pal. Ridiculous. It's not my fault I can't say their names. I try. My tongue goes, no, not today. Not today, Satan. It's just not happening. So that show sounds wonderful. I can't wait to watch a CM Punk segment. We'll cover that on Thursday. We'll be back for another show then. Touch up on a little bit of news that day.
Dave Meltzer. This is the hot story from Dave Meltzer today.
Oh, dear God.
Jacob Fatu is recently signed by WWE. He's going to receive a push.
Can
you believe he actually said this? Can you believe he's actually saying this? Yes, he was signed by WWE. He's going to receive a nice push. NFS, Dave. NFS.
What a moron, pal.
Anybody can do what he does. Anybody.
Well, they didn't sign him to sell the damn popcorn. Hey, can you do me a favor? Shinsuke Nakamura needs you to go sell some popcorn over there. Go do that shit real quick, pal. Forget the bloodline.
I want to talk about this poor bastard right here who met The Rock
boy.
in Philly. This man said he met The Rock.
Okay. Oh, shit, that's not The Rock.
What? That's not The Rock?
Oh, my God, dude.
He met Maven Hoffman.
That's bad.
It's not good, pal. It's not good by any stretch of the imagination. He must have been really, he must have had some fine herb that day to think that was The Rock.
Bottles, that's all I've got tonight. I'm looking forward to Thursday's show. Tune in Thursdays, kids, 7 p.m. Going to have a good show, I think. Going to talk about everything going on in the news world of wrestling as well as an AEW show. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Bottles, I know who would have liked WrestleMania Night 2.
I know exactly who would have liked it.
God.
Was that Brody King?
Why?
What?
What? No. Gone. Get it out of here.
It's gone. It's gone. What are you getting all excited about, Don? I can't have any fun.
Lord have mercy.
I'll just sit here and listen to you try to phonetically pronounce all these Asian people's names. I'm just shaking my head. I'm shaking my head. I would give your pronunciation of Ariel Helwani 4 stars. Say, I'm feeling magnanimous. I would say your pronunciation of that poor guy, of his name, was
Jesus.
4 stars. You know who pissed in Meltzer's pool?
Yes, I do. Hit the booty.
Until next week, Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.